Most developers spend their early careers writing code, fixing bugs, and shipping features. And then one day, a question pops up. Is that all? You have learned various programming languages. You have built cool apps. But now you are curious. Who decides the bigger picture? Who decides how systems are designed, what technology stack to use, and how everything scales to millions of users? And that is when you hear the title software architect. Many developers think an architect is just a super senior developer or someone who only makes fancy diagrams. But in reality, the role is much deeper and much more impactful. Hi, I'm Ritesh, host of Tech Talk with Ritesh, and today I'm going to walk you through a step by step roadmap to grow from a developer to an architect. By the end of this video, you will know exactly what the role is, what skills you need, and how to prepare yourself both technically and in terms of mindset. Before we jump into the career stages, let's pause and ask, why does this journey even matter? Many developers feel stuck. They think they have only two options. Either they just stay developer forever or maybe move into people management role. But there is a third path, that is a technical leadership path where you stay hands on with technology and guiding the big picture. Understanding this journey matter because it gives you clarity. Instead of just waiting for promotion, you can take ownership of your career. You will know what skills you to build, what experience to seek, and how to position yourself for growth. So, with that foundation, let's go step by step through the career journey. A software architect's job is to design systems, make trade offs, and connect a technology with business goals. Think of it like this: a developer writes the engine of a car, a senior developer makes sure the engine runs smoothly. But the architect, they design the whole car, deciding the structure, the fuel system, the safety measures, and how all parts work together. Responsibilities of an architect include defining system architecture and design pattern, choosing the right technology for the job, ensuring scalability, performance, and security, collaborating with product managers and business leaders, mentoring developers and tech leads, and the most important part is documenting decisions and trade offs. Before we go further, it's worth noting something very, very important. Different organizations use different hierarchies and fancy names for their roles. For example, in one company, you may see a very clear ladder like, for example, junior developer, trainee, developer, senior developer, tech lead, architect, like that. But in another organization, that it could vary. Maybe software engineer, senior engineer, principal engineers, solution architect, etc. And the responsibilities may overlap as well. So don't get too much caught up in job titles. What really matters are the skills, responsibilities, and impact you are bringing to the table. Now that we have cleared up what a software architect actually does and also understood how different companies use different hierarchies and titles, let's bring it all together. No matter what your company calls the roles, the journey usually follows a clear pattern, from writing your very first lines of code to designing entire system. So let's break it down step by step and look at the whole career journey. This is a stage where most of us start fresh out of colleges, and let's be honest, in the beginning, it feels overwhelming. You spend hours figuring out why the code won't compile or why that one bug keeps coming back even after you fixed it multiple times. Yes, it happens with us. Your main goal here is not to know every framework or tool, but it's to build solid foundation. Learn one or two programming language deeply, not just like you are copy pasting from somewhere. It is better to understand what is happening under the hood. This is also the time to fall in love with clean code, debugging, and version control. Don't just write code that works. Write code that others can read and maintain. Be curious. Ask yourself, why did the senior design this feature in this way? How does my small function fit into the bigger application? That curiosity is what transforms you from just a coder into a real engineer. By this stage, you are no longer just fixing tickets or closing Jira tasks. You start to own features end to end. You also begin mentoring others. This is also when you discover that writing code is the easy part. The real challenge is writing code that scales and lasts. You will face questions like, do we add a quick patch or redesign the whole module? Should we create a new microservice or extend this existing one? At this stage, your work starts shaping not just a single feature, but the architecture of entire module. This is the stage where your keyboard time slowly reduces and your meeting time increases. But don't worry, that's not a bad thing. So you start leading small teams, planning sprints, and making design decisions that impact entire subsystem. And suddenly your decisions affect not just your code but the productivity of your team members. Your success at this stage is not measured by how much code you personally write but by how smoothly your team delivers. Communication becomes your biggest weapon here. If you can explain a technical design to a junior developer and justify it in plain English to a business stakeholder, you are already stepping into a next role, which is architect role. This is where the game truly changes. As an architect, you are no longer solving just today's problem. You are designing for the maybe this problem for the next 5 or even 10 years. You are trusted to design entire sister system and guide multiple teams at once. Instead of thinking, how do I fix this bug? You are asking, how do we build a system that can handle 10x the traffic without breaking? Your focus shifts from features to strategy. You evaluate technologies, balance cost against scalability, and think about how today's decisions will affect the company's future. For example, should we migrate this system to the cloud or maybe keep it on premise? Do we adopt microservices or is a monolith still the right choice? How do we protect millions of users against evolving security threats? At this stage, your code may be minimal, but your influence is massive. You are shaping not just the software, but the direction of the organization's technology itself. And the best part is, you are mentoring others to grow, become leaders like you. As an architect, you design the highways that code will travel on. To do that, you will need a strong hands on few aspects. Very first thing is the system design and distributed systems. Think of it like city planning. How do different services talk to each other without causing traffic jam? Companies live on cloud now. Knowing how to deploy and how to scale makes your architecture future proof. Security always matters and always is the on the priority. Because in architecture, one weak link is not just a bug, it can be a disaster. APIs are the bridges between various systems. If you design them poorly, the whole ecosystem will collapse. Automation is your new best friend. You are not just shipping code, you are actually shipping confidence. Performance always matters. Every milliseconds count. At scale, even small optimizations save thousands of dollars and make millions of users happier. In short, these skills turn you into someone who designs the playground where code lives, grows, and scales. Now, here's the part many developers tend to overlook. Not only developers, the seniors also, they just tend to overlook soft skills. Let me tell you, at the senior level, they are not optional, they are career defining. You could be the best coder in the room, but if you cannot influence, explain, or lead, you will struggle for sure. Explaining technical concepts to non technical people or stakeholders. Think about it. If your brilliant design cannot be understood by a business stakeholder, it might never get approved. You are no longer just growing your own skills, you are helping juniors and peers level up. A team that learns from you is your true legacy. Sometimes there is no perfect answer. Do we prioritize speed or reliability? Do we delay release for security? These are tough calls, and people will look to you for clarity. This is where many developers stumble. Architects don't just think in terms of code, they think in terms of cost, ROI, and trade offs. For example, imagine you are asked to choose between a free open source tool and a pay to enterprise one. A pure developer might just compare features, but an architect goes deeper, asking, what about licensing risks? Will there be long term support or not? That is the power of soft skills. They turn you from a coder into a decision maker, a leader. Now let's talk about something we often ignore: networking and visibility. It's not enough to just do great work if nobody knows about it. Architects or seniors are expected to be vocal, to represent their ideas, and sometimes even defend tough decisions. Be verbal, share your thoughts in design discussions, ask questions in team meetings. Don't keep hot potatoes with you. If you see a problem, raise your hand. Networking goes beyond your team too. Build relationship across QA, DevOps, product, or business teams. Architects or seniors succeed not just because of what they know, but because what they can bring people. Sometimes the real progress happened not in code reviews, but in coffee break, chats, networking, discussions with the people or stakeholders. Now let's talk about the traps. Even experienced seniors stumble here. If you are aiming for the architect path, keep an eye out for these mistakes. Only focusing on code, ignoring design. Remember, you are no longer just building Lego blocks. If you stay stuck only at the code level, you will miss the bigger picture. Avoiding documentation because it feels boring. Yes, yeah, of course, it feels very, very boring. Get it. Nobody loves writing documents. But imagine joining a project with zero documentation. You are completely lost. Many developers think, I'll let my code do the talking. But the architect level or at senior level, people need you to do talking. If you can't explain, convince, and lead, your design won't fly. This one is huge. Sometimes we fall into the trap of designing a rocket when all the business need was a bicycle. Simple solutions often scale better and save everyone from headaches. If a decision make your system super elegant but triples the cost, it is really a win. Do you think that? Architects think beyond the code to the business reality. Mistakes happen, systems break. The real red flag is repeating the same mistakes twice. Every outage is an architect's classroom, of course. Right? We'll have discussion. We'll say why. We'll try to find the RCA, the root cause analysis, why it failed. At the end of the day, architecture is about balance. The simplest solution that meets the requirement, scales well, and aligns with business need is usually the best solution. So, becoming a software architect is not about just waiting for 10 years or longer and hoping for a promotion comes your way. It is about being intentional, building the right mix of technical depth, system design knowledge, leadership skills, and business awareness. Follow this path, and you won't just grow your career title by title, you will grow your influence, your leadership, and your ability to shape the future of technology. And if this roadmap gave you clarity, do me a favor, hit the thumbs up, share it with your friends, and subscribe to Tech Talk with Ritesh for more career and tech insights. I would also love to hear from you. Until then, keep learning, keep growing, and keep building the future. Thank you so much.